All right, everybody. We are back. It's the Sports Clash. Rich Arlia here with Chris Carey. It's been an interesting first half of baseball.
For
Um
sure.
I want to do this, but I think we want to just talk about a couple second half predictions that we have. Um
You want to do an LFG or not be?
we could do that. Yeah. I mean, we're pros over here. We're just writing the show as we go. But I'm down for that. I'm down for
All
that.
right, cool.
So let's do LFG or not be second half MLB predictions. We'll do three, four. Um, Chris, do you have one to get us started?
I do. And
All
you're
right.
gonna love this.
All right. LFG or not be. Let's go. What do you
Yeah,
got?
this is almost like a layup. This is almost like an alley-oop. And I don't know if I want to give this
Good.
to you after
Mm.
that draft, but I think that Aaron Judge breaks his own record. I think he's on pace. I think he's got the experience now in September where he's not going to hit that cold streak really. He doesn't have to play in Camden Yards until September. He doesn't have to play in the big ballparks. He doesn't have to do anything like that. But I also think he's got Soto in the lineup this year, and that's what makes all the difference. There's another hitter in there. He's not doing it all himself this year, and I think what's he at right now? 35, something like that? 30,
34.
34, and he's got to get to what, 64? I think he can do
62.
it.
62 was the record, and then you got so I think 63 he needs.
Yeah. I think his slow start is going to compensate for his September. And then when it gets down to it, I think you're going to end up seeing the clutch Aaron Judge that we haven't seen before. And it's unfortunate that I'm saying this, but I think that at the end of the day, a lot of teams are responsible for that clutch gene in players. They develop that clutch gene, and I think the Yankees play a lot of high leverage games. And I think he stays healthy, and that's the most important part. If he's healthy, he can do this. He's a tremendous human being. He's a great baseball player, and he's just on an unfortunate team. But I think he beats his personal best and ends up hitting 64, 65 home runs this year. What do you think?
I LFG. I mean, sign me up. It's a layup. It's a alley oop. It's he's doing it. If he stays healthy and plays, he will break this record. He's at 34. I guess technically he's on pace
Is
for
it the
like
record though?
it's the American League record. It's
It's a
there's
debate for
people.
another day.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if we want to talk about 70 with steroids, it's always going to be a thing. But I mean, you look at Alex Rodriguez hit 57 in 2002. He was loaded up, juiced at that point. It seems. I love A Rod, but like, I
I
mean,
know you do.
Babe Ruth was doing this. They didn't even invent
He was
steroids yet.
loaded up. Hot
Yeah, he
dog.
was loaded up on dogs and beers.
Yeah,
I mean,
good man.
I'm just Ken Griffey hit 56 twice. He was, for all we know, straight laced, and then same as Judge. Roger Maris. I mean, I don't think the guy looked like he was in great shape. 1961. I don't think they were doing anything there. So it's one of those things. I mean, it it's the all I look at it as is it's a fun record to chase. It's the American League home run record. I don't think he beats Bonds is 60, um 70. It's
70.
it's just that was a weird. I mean, we know how juiced up he was. We know that he didn't need that to be a Hall of Famer, and I will say that
Hmm.
he should be in the Hall of Fame. But
Yes.
like you said, debate for another day. It's one of those things to hit to see that number and feel the chase. It's fun. It's very fun.
Right.
And
I think we're going to get a Yankee Stadium count on the wall. We're going to
yeah,
get that
yeah.
this year. I think because of his start, he might not make it. The dude could do it, though. If there's anybody that's going to do it, I'm going to predict two-thirds of your outfield, in any year in the next 5 years. It's gonna be those guys. It's nice to hit in Yankee Stadium, I've heard.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, but Judge, I mean, he doesn't just utilize that wall too. I mean, he hits him out and he hits them out everywhere, anywhere he is. Left field in Camden Yards, no problem. It's one of those things. I mean, he's just a freak of nature. There's a couple of them in the league, but not many. I mean, Judge and Otani are 1 and 2, and those are the freaks of the league, I would say. So
For sure.
yes, LFG. He's I think he's breaking it. I'm rooting for it. I just want him to stay healthy. I just love watching him hit and play baseball. He's also a great outfielder. It's one of those things that
I won't go that far.
he absolutely is. I mean, look at the metrics. The guy's stride. I mean, he covers ground that people can't cover. But anyway, yes, LFG,
Oh,
our judge,
right.
breaking the record. I love it.
Cool. All right. I got one more for you.
Okay.
Can I go next?
Yes, please.
Elly steals 100.
Elly De La Cruz steals 100 bases.
I think if it's within sight, you're just going to see this guy run ridiculous. I think the most important thing is him getting on base and staying healthy. He's at 46 right now, but he's and we are more than halfway. I want to emphasize we are more than halfway through the season.
Yes.
The All-Star break isn't the exact halfway point or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've just seen this guy steal third so many times. I'm like, Jesus, it's insane. It's insane. So if he's healthy and he gets on base, I think Elly steals 100. What say you?
LFG. I think he's going to do it. He's not breaking the record. Ricky Henderson owns the record. 130 stolen bases in the season. Ricky just got on base and stole. That's
what the record is?
That's the Major League Baseball single season record.
130 stolen bases?
130. Ricky Henderson.
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
Holy
I had to look it up. I knew it was Ricky. I knew in my head Ricky
Of course.
and I knew in my head Ricky had over 100. I did not think it was 130. Kind of insane. But he did that in 1982. 149 games he played, 130 steals, 42 caught stealing. You don't even get to get caught 42 times in baseball anymore before everybody's like, you can't steal a base. But
I mean, that speaks to how good of a hitter he was, or how good of his how good his plate discipline.
He had a 400 on base percentage.
There you go. Yep.
And his career, 25 years in the big leagues, he had a 400 on base percentage and a 280 batting average.
That's just stupid.
14.
But that's what Elly's doing.
Bases. Yeah.
That's what Elly's doing right now.
And he's at the age to do it. Ricky did that at 23. He stole 100 one more time in his career, 24. And then after that, he never stole 100 again. He had a couple down years, but he played 25 years, played till he was 44. And but he had 66 steals at 39 years old. How insane is that?
I am the greatest of all time.
I mean, that's what you
never
love
forget that.
That's what
of
you
course.
love. I mean,
of course, you don't have that moxie. You don't steal 130 bases without that.
No,
that confidence.
But that's what it is, and that's the age. Elly De La Cruz is 22 years old. He's got the speed. He's healthy. Yes, he strikes out a lot, but that's okay because he's getting on base. He's having a great year. I think he gets to 100 this year, and I want to see it. And I'm very excited about it. So LFG.
The last big base stealer I remember seeing was freaking Scott Podsednik. So I would love to see this.
Scott Podsednik.
You remember Scotty Potty?
Of course, I do.
He scored like 95 bases.
Of course, I do.
White Sox.
I mean,
okay.
yeah. I know our buddy Polly knows. I mean, he's a big White Sox fan back in the day. And now he's Metzos. He's locked in. But that was the year. Yeah, was that 2005? Was it?
Long time ago. Yeah. I think it was kind of
they won in
my
2005.
MVP baseball career. Yeah.
Your MVP. Nice. All right. All right. I got to think about my LFG or not be, but I think I got one coming out of pocket here. And I kind of hate it, but I think it's going to happen. LFG or not be, the Houston Astros, who are 3.5 games out of a wild card spot right now, will make the playoffs. They are
Oh,
50 and
LFG.
yeah, I think they're doing it.
Yeah.
I hate.
I mean, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
No,
there.
no, no, no. I'm shooting to you. LSG or not B. Did the Astros do
I
it?
It looks like they're one game out of the West right now. I don't think Seattle,
That's the
who
other
are
thing.
pretty much the strikeout kings of the first half here, I don't think that they have enough to do it. You've got Luis Garcia coming back for Houston. We might have a Lance McCullers sighting. Who knows? And that bullpen is just absolutely ridiculous. And then of course you still have some of the hitters there like the Altuves, the Bregmans. And I think they're going to do it. I really do. I don't think they're playing to their record right now. I think Houston was built to last. This might be one of the last two seasons that they have that are incredible before they pull off a big trade or whatever. Verlander stays healthy. Who knows? But I definitely think that they make a run in the second half. I think this is what this team is made for. So I think it's a unfortunately for you, I know how you love Houston. You're a big fan. You have a lot of jerseys, a lot of jerseys. Yeah,
Big fan,
a lot of
Vegas.
hats.
Big fan.
Um,
I
but yeah, I
mean,
think they make it. I think they're going to be a playoff team.
yeah,
Yeah,
the Astros, I hate them. We all know this.
we
I
love them.
they've made a run. They're already I think a game out in the West. They're
Yep.
a couple games out of the wild card, I think. Catching flies over here, Mr. Miyagi. Um, I think I can't even LFG this.
Say
I
it.
don't want to see it.
Say it.
I don't
Be
want
a
it.
realist.
I gotta be a realist. LFG, the Astros are making the playoffs. I mean,
Mm,
they're not gonna miss
mm,
them again.
mm.
I mean, the Yankees tore them up in the to start the season. They destroyed them in two series, one in Houston, one at New York. Um, they got them off to a terrible start. I loved it. I loved every second of it. And then the Astros just kept playing poorly, and I thought, oh, they're dead. They're done. Um, they don't have the pitching that they usually have.
They have
Um,
people coming, and they got a bullpen.
they lost Javier. He's out for the year. There's
Right.
no
Good point.
Verlander. What's the deal with Verlander? Is he
He's old.
he's
That's the
old?
deal.
So
He's just
I
an
don't.
old guy.
Yeah, I mean they don't really scare you like they usually do. But Rodel Blanco is a guy who's just having an unbelievable year. I got to
Point.
figure out what stuff he's using on the ball, and this is what the Astros do. I mean, they figured it out. I think what happened is they were like, all right, guys, we're going into this year. We're not doing anything screwy. We're just gonna play baseball. And they got their shit kicked in. They were like, all right, screw this. They called in their old pals. They were like, all right, we gotta figure this out. What do we do? And same with the Red Sox. The same thing. I mean, I think both of them really just they
You
tried to
guys
go
cheated too.
they
You guys
tried to
cheated
go. We
too.
did
There
not
was a
cheat.
memo from
We
the commissioner's
a
office
memo,
about you guys too.
a memo that went out to 10
A
plus
memo
teams.
too. It
A
was
memo
all a
that
memo. Everybody got a memo. Who didn't get a memo?
no, but asked it was asked it
Got
was what
a
the
memo. The
Astros
Astros
did.
got a
It was what
memo.
the
The
Red
Red
Sox
Sox
did.
got a memo.
No, the Astros and Red Sox both got
You're
penalized, got
all
coaches
cheese
fired
balls.
for doing what they were doing, and then the Yankees and 15 other teams got memos to stop using technology.
You know who didn't?
I mean, why would the Orioles even?
Renato Nunez.
The Orioles weren't trying to win at that
Hanser
point.
Alberto.
That year, they were trying to lose, so they obviously weren't trying to cheat at that point. They were trying to tank to get all the blonde bimbos in and just
That's it. We
create a
just drafted two more.
create a team of blonde
UNC and
bimbos.
UVA tonight
Yeah,
in the
that's
draft.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. So
Hmm.
obviously the Astros weren't cheating because they weren't trying. That's it. But I mean, obviously the Orioles weren't doing it, but the Astros are. They figured it out. The Astros and Red Sox were like, all right, we're gonna go into this year, give the old college try. Got their ass kicked. Like, all right, let's fire up the cheat machine, figure it out, and that's now they're both back in the playoff hunt. So good for them. All right, I got one more LFG or not be. Um, Trade deadline coming up at the end of the month. I believe, and I'm going to LFG it right out of the gate. I believe this is happening. I believe that Mason Miller of the A's closer, Garrett Crochet, young White Sox starter, and Jazz Chisholm, former MLB The Show cover athlete and outfielder
Yeah.
slash infielder of the Miami Marlins, will all be traded at the trade deadline. I'll start. I think LFG right out of the gate. I think the A's know that they're never going to get more for Miller than they will right now. So
Right.
they will find the best deal, and they're going to get an overpay probably for a unbelievable arm who was a starter last season, but clearly he can close and close with the best of them. He's going to help a bullpen, and then they're going to look at it as a young arm who can maybe eventually be a starter, or they just want him as a closer. But he will be traded. I think the A's, what are they doing? They're going to keep Mason Miller for what? They're not building a winner, so they don't care. The White Sox need to trade Garrett Crochet. They're rebuilding. I think Lou Bob might even end up being a part of that deal if it becomes a big one.
Yeah.
But they do have to kind of try to sell tickets, so maybe they hold on to Lou Bob. But I think
They sold like
Crochet,
1,000 tickets to their last game. It was terrible.
yeah,
They're not even trying.
yeah. I think
All these
Crochet,
teams are not even trying.
yeah, no, it's pathetic. But I think Crochet could end up on the O's they'll be on a contender. It'll be. Do you want Crochet? I would actually like to hear that. Do you
I
want Crochet
mean,
on the O's?
I don't know. I'm gonna not be this. And it's
All right.
because of that. It's because of that. I think he should be traded, but I don't think we give up enough for him. I think the White Sox are in such a desperate position that we're going to try to strong arm him or something. And it's just like with Cease this offseason, we're not going to pull the trigger. Um, so I'm going to not be it because of this. But my last LFG not be was we're going to have one of the most active trade deadlines we've seen in a while, just because of the disparity between the winning teams and the losing teams right now. And I think that's kind of what you're calling out right now. Um, Jazz Chisholm is another one. I'm like, I don't know how many teams really want him, how many teams want to trade for a second baseman outfielder combo. Crochet probably would be traded. Mason Miller probably would be traded because arms are at a premium right now. But Jazz Chisholm might be the one that I think blows this up for me because he's also been like, kind of a jerk, and people don't necessarily like him right now. But I do think it's going to be a very active trade deadline. I think it's definitely a hot take, but I'm going to not be it because I think Jazz Chisholm is going to be tough to deal somewhere because second base isn't really a premium. Outfield, yes, it's a little shallow, but do you want Jazz Chisholm or do you want a guy who's going to hit, a ton of home runs, who's going to move at the deadline and be a bigger bat than a Jazz Chisholm is?
Fair
I
enough. I
see what
mean,
you're going with, though. It makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah, and I mean with Jazz, what has he really done? Like, is he? Are there people? Are there play? I mean, I guess Rojas on the Dodgers now played with him and didn't like him. I think he had a blow up at a manager, but for the most part,
Right.
when he's healthy, he has produced, and he is young. Um, he's an asset that I don't think the Marlins want to keep, and I think
I don't think so either.
I think leads to them trading him for probably less than he's worth. Just baseline ability wise. But look, from a Yankee perspective, I want to see a Jazz Chisholm Tanner Scott combo come into the Yankees. We send
See,
them
there you go.
we send them Gleyber Torres in a walk year. They can decide if he's a
Mhm.
fit there, and then two of our prospects, not Spencer Jones, obviously not Dominguez, but two of our top 10 prospects, um, along with Glaber, figure out the deal and get it done. So,
So my question to you is, does Miami want anybody in a walk here, or do they want just a plethora of prospects?
you're gonna give him two top 10 prospects, and you're gonna give him a guy who immediately comes in, fills a spot in the infield, has potential, still young, and you kind of get the advantage of, hey, maybe he wants to stay in Miami and he'll sign a 2 year sweetheart deal to kind of get right. And then if he succeeds, does well, entering his like 30-year-old season, he could do a big free agent year. That's probably what he's thinking. It might be a good fit. So that's what I'm thinking.
Do you want Jazz though?
I want Glaber gone. So
You just want to ship somebody off for anything?
I'll take Jazz in. I mean, we got personalities. I mean, I'm in a weird spot because I think we have the talent, but I don't think our manager is any good, and I want him fired.
You want Tanner Scott, is what I'm hearing. I think you
I
want.
want Tanner Scott,
Yeah,
a lefty reliever who's a stud. I
he's
want,
great.
yeah, I want Tanner Scott. I'll take Jazz, get rid of Glaber, and then throw in Roderick Arias and Everson Pereira, 4 and 5 on our prospect list, and let's make it happen.
I feel like Jazz is going to end up on like a team like the Mets, who's like faking like they're going to be good this year and like doesn't know what they're doing. It's like, we're gonna, oh, let's go for it. Why not?
The Mets
And
have
like you
like
said, Miami wants to ship him out. So
don't get me started on the Mets. The Mets just like every fucking week, they come out with a new mascot. First, it was a rally. They've had it's the first half of the season. They're slightly above 500. They've had Rally Pimp, Grimace, some Chihuahua eating a hot dog, and their infielder second baseman singing a Latino rap song.
what was that?
This
I missed that.
Jose Iglesias. Oh my God, you've seen that?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, you told me about this. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean that like they're just a
Jose
vibe.
Iglesias is a former Bird.
The Mets are just a vibe. Barry Boone should have managed the Mets. They could just be vibing over there in Queens, win 80 games a year and have fun. Go have fun over there. Be
Right.
happy and have fun.
That's the
Yeah,
that's the Orioles from like 3 years ago.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Go do that.
Have a great time, guys.
Yeah,
Have a
go
great
have
time.
fun.
Brandon Hyde will babysit you.
Yeah, yeah, for
Yeah,
real. All right. Well, I'm LFG on that. I get you're
I'm
kind of in the
Nabi.
same sentiment, Nobby, but I think the trade deadline should be fun. So looking forward to it.
I think so too.
The good, the bad, and the shitty. Chris, kicking it to you. Start us off. Who's your good?
Uh, my good right now is going to be the All-Star Weekend in Texas, and more specifically, the Home Run Derby field. We just drafted them. I think everybody who's in the Home Run Derby field outside of
Alec
the
Bohm.
Home Run Derby, outside of Alec Bohm, is an exciting player and somebody that I want to see get up there and take as many cuts as possible to crank it over the fence. I think, they kind of let them like this rolling announcement. It was like, a rolling
Yeah.
admissions to college. Like we're just gonna, oh, I'm in. It was weird, but I think they ended up with like a field that works out fantastically. You have the hometown guy. You have Pete Alonso, who has won in the past. Teoscar Hernandez is pretty scary with the bat now in LA. And you have a bunch of guys like Gunnar Henderson and Bobby Witt, who are the next generation of players. So my good is however the hell they got to it. This home run derby field is fantastic, and I'm really, really excited for this. So that was going to be my good, and also the All Star Weekend. I've been watching the MLB draft. They've been doing it at the stockyards and the livestock auction in Fort Worth, Texas. It's been fun to see, and it's been really, really cool. So I really think the home run derby is going to be a great event. I always love the celebrity game, and I think the All-Star game is going to be a great event as well. So that's going to be my good. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be great. I think the rules are right, and we'll see. You're going down.
I'm not going down. I'm beating you.
You're going
I'm
down.
beating
You're
you.
done.
I'm beating you handily. I hope you know that. It's gonna be it's gonna be impressive. All
Yeah.
right. My good, Jalen Brunson of the New York Knicks. Now, this is Woj's tweet. A largely unprecedented financial concession to give his team roster flexibility. 4 year, $156.5 million extension. Incredibly underpaid for a guy who established himself as a top 10 NBA player last year. Established himself as one of the best point guards in the NBA. Like if you're shaking your head at top 10, whatever, he's top 20 easy. I think he's top 10. Um, yeah, it's unprecedented, like Woj said. It's unbelievable. The fact that he's doing this now to give the team the flexibility they need to build a contender around him and hopefully bring a chip to the Knicks. I mean, that's just a guy that every fan should just be groveling over. Like, I don't want to hear any. Like, I'm in the middle of baseball season right now. Yankee fans are just like screaming over every single player. Like, we were ready. There were people ready to ship Judge out, like fucking idiots. But the
I'm
Knicks
glad
right
you
now,
admitted.
yeah. I mean, the Judge thing. Come on,
Go.
stupid. Well, we won't get on tirade there. Jalen Brunson is a hero in New York sports right now. Eh, he came in and signed a contract that people laughed at when he came in, and then he became a premier point guard. And I was like, wow, he's underpaid. He's got an extension coming up. Of he took a pay cut, literally, like unbelievable. He's get the if you look at the list of guys who are getting paid more money than Jalen Brunson for the next 4 years, it's insane. I mean, Mo Wagner's on the list. I'm pretty sure Emmanuel Quickly of the Knicks, who is now in the Raptors, was
Raptors,
was
yeah,
was in
big
the OG
contract.
trade. Like OG's obviously getting paid more. There's Jalen's going to stay as like the number 4 guy, paid highest paid guy on his own team, even though he's obviously the team leader.
That's what a point guard does.
That's
That's what
what
a
a point
real
guard.
point
That's a
guard does.
leader. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. I think there's something in the deal where at the end of the 4 years he has a chance to kind of boost himself and make some good money.
Of
But
course.
but it's a win-win. I mean, you're at this stage like it's smart. Give the team more flexibility to bring in the guys that you need to go and win. And it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm so happy. I love Jalen Brunson. He's up there with Aaron Judge right now. Uh Juan Soto, if he resigns, he'll be up there. But I mean, those guys are just
If he doesn't,
such
forget about him.
incredible.
Forget about
Forget
him, right?
about him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But my good Jalen Brunson, just absolutely
Yeah.
phenomenal. So
I've said you've got a 2-year window, and he's kicking that door open. He's making it a little bit more attainable. There's a lot of people who say winning is everything. Look at that man and tell
yes.
me that you think winning is everything. I mean, of course, there's going to be a promise in the back end. He's got friends in the front office, a godfather, a father who's played in the 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 NBA or whatever. But it's incredible, and it's awesome. It's going to be fun.
I'm
He's
so
a good
happy.
guy.
I'm so happy.
Yep.
I'll go on. My bad. Copa America, the tournament. I'm just every video you see on Twitter right now. It's kind of going viral right now. They're having a lot of issues, and this is a precursor to the World Cup that's going to be insane that
Yeah.
the U.S. is hosting in a couple of years. Look, I mean,
Yeah.
this isn't. You're not containing a American crowd of 30,000 people. You're containing an international crowd of rabid football fans, soccer fans, who are coming in the tens of thousands, multiples like this. The stadiums will be packed. The fans are rabid, and you have to figure it out. You got to step up. Like, yeah, I mean, we're not. It's a different style of fan. They're a little bit crazy. We had the thing with Darwin Nunez going up into the stands, trying to defend, like, keep his family safe. You know, fighting fans. Um, there's a lot going on right now, and a lot of it has to do with the U.S. not the like this these security these stadiums are not used to this type of fan and this type of energy for this sport, and it
Right.
has to you have to wake up. You have to realize, like, look, you got to step it up. You have to. Like, it's going to be crazy. And yeah, you could say, the fans need to chill out, but they're not going to chill out. It's this
No,
is their life. This is their
it's the
life.
biggest
This
sport in
is
the world.
yeah. So you have to step it up. Copa America's got to figure it out. U.S. not a problem. We were out pretty quick. Uh, so that happened, but
We're good at that.
yeah, we're pretty good at that. But anyway,
Yeah, they laid off half the staff at that point. No,
yeah. Well, yeah, we kind of did. But that's my bad. Copa America, we got to figure this out before the World Cup. So my
yeah.
bad. Chris, who's your bad?
I'm gonna stick with my baseball theme here and All-Star Weekend theme, the All-Star uniforms. I hate it. I grew up with the players wearing their own uniforms, maybe an All-Star hat, an All-Star patch, whatever. I really don't like it. I think, there's pride to representing your team. I was always the one guy or the guy who had one guy representing my team, and it was cool when his uniform was on the field. I don't really like it. It's not a different team. It's you're a representative of your team.
Yeah.
You're not a part of an all-star team. You're more of a representative of your own team. So I don't love it. The whole thing with the jerseys this year and the, spring training and the transparency. I saw it, I saw it in a game very recently. The tucked in shirt you can just see through. It was a third base coach. I was like, Jesus. But at the end of the day, I think they struck some deal here with Fanatics where they have to do this type of stuff or whatever. But I just remember seeing Cal Ripken wearing the Orioles colors in the All-Star game, and he was our only guy. And Mike Mussina was stuck in the bullpen in 1994 or whatever it was at Camden Yards. But I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not a separate event. It's your team being represented in the All-Star game,
Mhm.
your best player representing your fan base. And that's my bad. I think it's just a miss on baseball's part. And there's been a lot of misses. Some of them I've come around to, like the pitch clock, things like that. But recently now with these uniforms, with all these mandates, with these things that are happening around the league, I don't love it. And I want to see my all-star game. I want to know who my players are representing in terms of a team. And I love that they're trying to make it like a team thing. But at the end of the day, I want to see the Orioles on the field. You probably want to see the Yankees on the field. You want to see the Rangers on the field. You want to see your guy on the field. And I don't love it. So my bad is this switch to that. And I just don't love it. So,
I agree 1000% with you.
yeah.
And I hate to do that, but that's what I'm doing. It's I mean, you watch the All-Star game. Look, home run derby, pregame, what
Sure.
warm-ups, whatever, wear your jerseys, but then
Right.
wear your baseball uniform for the game. People want to see the players of each team represented. I think it's the most obvious thing in the world, but they don't care.
Right.
I don't think they're gonna do it anytime soon.
I think
Like
they
you
want to
said, too
sell
much money in it. They
jerseys.
want to sell jerseys, but I don't think
Yeah.
anybody. Are you really selling jerseys by making them play it the whole, wear it the whole game? Like I don't know, whatever.
I would
Uh,
always wait till like the seventh inning until the Orioles guy trots on. I'm like, let's go Miguel Tejada or
yeah,
some other
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, I usually had like three starters minimum.
I hate you
Um,
so much.
go keep
I'm
us
sorry.
real.
I don't hate you. I'm just jealous. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Love you, bud. Keep it going. Who's your shitty?
My shitty. I'm going to continue with baseball. I've watched so many games this first half of the season, and the umpiring is just noticeable. Balls and strikes throughout Major League Baseball. I saw it today. Thankfully, the Orioles were like, hey, or the Yankees were like, hey, here's this game. You want it? Well, you go ahead and take it. It's great. But Gunnar Henderson struck out on a ball outside that was noticeably a borderline pitch. And it just was something that felt like a makeup call because the umpire interference the inning before. But we've also seen, the unceremoniously retiring of Angel Hernandez in the middle of the season. There's just been bad umpiring throughout Major League Baseball, and it's been specifically balls and strikes. And we've always had the pitch K zone. I mean, for a long time now, but now it's noticeable, and there's games that are being decided on decisions that these umps are making. I've never been a balls and strikes guy. I've never been we should have an automatic umpire, but I'm seeing it more and more now. And I think the shitty is the first half umpiring. We have the MLB scorecard with the umpire scorecards right now, and it's just not going too well. And I think they really need to have a good second half before that conversation in the offseason for this to go away because there's a lot of highlights going around on ESPN. There's a lot of articles going out in different news outlets. This was a missed call. This was that. A lot of stuff on X, a lot of conversation. And it hasn't been this noticeable before to me. And it's noticeable to me now. And I think the shitty is the umpires in the first half of the season. And the accountability that they have, which is really none. And I think it's about time. So my shitty is the MLB umpiring in the first half of the season, and specifically balls and strikes, the varying strike zone to
Yeah.
different guys. And I'm sure you feel that with Aaron Judge too.
Well, yeah. I mean, he gets strikes called at his ankles. It's insane. But just in general, I mean, yeah. Again, I'm agreeing with you. You got the right takes. I mean, I don't know what's going on here, but it's The umpiring has been historically awful this season. Bottom
Who's
line
your
is
shitty?
shitty.
Hopefully, I
Bottom
don't
line is
agree with
shitty.
it.
My shitty, and I could have actually phrased this as good for the U.S. men's national team, but I'm gonna just frame it as a shitty. Gregg Berhalter, fired as U.S. Soccer head coach. It's
Let's
it's
go.
it's a we called for this in our last episode. It needed to happen. They needed to change, and it's happened. And he's taken what a lot of pundits look at as one of the more talented raw talent that the U.S. soccer team has had in years and decades, and Berhalter has just brought them to nowhere. So, and he had an issue with Gio Reyna, Claudio Reyna, soccer legend's son. They got to figure this out, and he's got to go. And now they have to hire a coach. We'll see who that is, but this was the first step in figuring it out and making the right move. He should have been out last year after they were
Yeah.
eliminated, but then they kept him. They said, "Let's go, let's make a run at Copa America," and it was embarrassment. They were out pretty quickly,
Yeah.
and he's gone. So it needed to happen. He's shitty, and in general, it's a good move. So that's it.
So to me, it starts a little level up. Like, who makes that decision on who's the coach? It just doesn't seem like there's been good decision making in U.S. soccer for a
Who's
number of
making
years
these
now.
decisions? Where's the budget come from? Like who funds US I don't know. Like who's running this thing? I don't I'm sure if I could look it up and figure it out. Not doing it, but the bottom line is whoever's running this shit needs to figure it out. And
Figure it out.
yeah, figure it out. They made the right call. Berhalter's gone.
For
Phenomenal.
sure.
So. Hey, Sports College fans, this is Rich. If you watched Monday, we drafted for the Home Run Derby. We each drafted 4 participants each, and Monday night we got together to watch. I had Bobby Witt Jr., Chris had Teoscar Hernandez, so you're about to hear our live reaction to the final few moments of the draft. Enjoy. I thought it was done. He just cranked out a bonus. Get out! Ah!
Yo, Nebraska. Yeah.
He had it. He got the extra out. He just needed one more.
I'm out of breath. I'm so good at this event. The rules change every year.
Hedge in your sportsbook account.
Take it, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, whatever you want. Buddy, I am the champ of the home run championship.
I'm writing a cashier's check and mailing it to you.
They don't take those at Target. Don't do that.
Well, I got it. That's how I'm sending it. So, dude, he just missed that last. They just showed a slow mo of his last one. It hit the middle of the wall at 410.
You were the high school home run championship. Get some protein in your diet, Bobby. What?
I should have pay Oscar over at least, but I thought at home at least would do something.
Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Personally, green. Very, very happy.
I got a hedge with Teoscar, so I'll just send
Smart.
I'll send that to you.
Everybody, thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching. Hope you're watching the Derby and the All-Star game. Hope you're having a great time. You're following us on SoBet. We've been winning. Had a great weekend.
Yeah, great weekend, man.
Yeah, just follow us on SoBet, and eventually you will win money. We're not losing you any money. It's just the plays are there. There's so many cappers on there too. Just get on. Come on. Come on. Ah.
Follow who you like.
Follow who you like. Thanks everybody. Follow us, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, SoBet. The Sports Clash. We love you all. Have a great night.